It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Fade that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog need. Slap Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
Ask you something? I said, can I ask you something? Ain't I'm clean?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite. For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
And you two...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
Joe feet. He looked down, seen his feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
Can you group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
TikTok. TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
All right. Let's get back to getting funky. All right, thank you for joining me. I've got roughly about an hour and a half where I got to go do something. Yeah, so it's another hot day up here. It's 87, so not as hot. It was 90-something this time yesterday. Why does this thing always turn on when I try to talk? But I hope your day is going smooth. King, Turtle Gang Entertainment, much love and respect. Well, that is my main man, Turtle Gang. We go back a long time. And you know, I'm with Turtle Gang. He gave me the Time Walking Papers, so that is one of my allies. And so you must, I know you got
to have vision.
I know you got vision. So thank you so much. Dr. Sinister, welcome. And Anthony G. Oh, I know Dr. Sinister's definitely got
to have vision.
And Anthony G, thank you for coming in. And I know you've got to have
vision.
Man, there was something. Let me see if I can find this, because I think this is my cousin. I've been trying to call people to see. Let me see. Where can I put this big ass bong where I'll knock it down? All right, that'll do. I forgot to share this story yesterday, and I'm pretty sure this dude is my cousin. I've been calling my family to see. Let's see where he's at. If I can find the dude who put this story out there. Because I don't go on his stuff a lot, so it might take me a minute to find it. But, oh, I know an easier way to find it. Okay. I got a much easier way to find it. All right. Let's go to, here we go. Yeah, I can find it like this. All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this is my cousin. So fair use on this, but I think this is my cousin right here. This is one of my cousins. I do believe, but this is let's see if I can show you from the start. But I think this dude is my cousin, so I'll let, this is Colin Noir, fair use. Don't hit me, bro, but I think this is my cousin you're showing. But let me show you the smoothness. If you didn't see this, check this out. Now look how smooth he is. He's fired at somebody, but he's holding a six-pack, so he's definitely got to be my cousin. But I think this is my cousin because this is in my where I was born in Dowagiac, Michigan. So I'll show some of this.
Want around to hold your beer? You might want to try asking this guy.
Newly released surveillance video showing a Cass County gas station customer firing 7 shots at a suspected armed robber, all while holding a six-pack of light beer.
The shooting seriously injured the suspect, who had armed himself with a box cutter.
Now, the customer waiting to learn if he'll face.
Now, let me give you a little history. As you know, my family was pushed, well, I guess my direct ancestor was taken to Tobago out of the Boston area, and he was slaved down there for 6-7 years, escaped, came back, and when he came back, he married a Sapani. And together, they first went into Indiana near Fort Wayne. Again, the Mennonites ran them out. Parts of Indiana is very racist. People didn't realize it's very racist. So what a lot of the Indians that came out of North Carolina, what we did is we went into Michigan. Now, at the same time in the 1830s, we know that the Potawatomi was kicked out of Michigan, and they were forced to go. Right now, I think Milwaukee is one of their casinos. And so we see my family moves into Michigan in 1850. We see a lot of American Indians coming from North Carolina into Michigan and Cass County specifically. And in Cass County, you got Dowagiac, you've got Cassopolis, and I was born in Dowagiac. That's where my family's from. My stepfather's family's from Cassopolis. And so, I was a cop down in Cassopolis for about a year or so. And so this is, but this is why so many families, and I mean, you can Tasha Z did all the names, and you see all the names, the Basses, the Ashes, the Letts. I think in Michigan, the two oldest, for melanated people, the two oldest reunions is the Letts and the Ampies. And I think the Ampies is a little older than the Letts, but the Letts is another name. When you saw all the people going into Southwest Michigan, all these families came together, and then of course, was able to bring in other families. And then my family settled in Cassopolis, but the bigger part of the city, a lot of people settled in Kalamazoo. Now, I've got into Kalamazoo very much before because Kalamazoo, again, has a Knights Templar buried in Kalamazoo. He's the one that started the paper business that ended up killing the Kalamazoo River, that at one time in the 1920s was called one of the most beautiful sporting rivers in the country. And this mug goes from Lake Michigan dang near to Albion. That's how far it goes. So this just to give you some heads up why Brothers and Sisters is in Southwest Michigan. So I'll let Colin take care of it. I'll let them tell the story.
Face criminal charges.
The video shows the customer holding a six-pack of Miller Lite as the suspect dressed in black bursts in on July 27th. The suspect, identified as a 35-year-old Dowagiac man, pulls a mask over his face. Another angle shows the suspect approaching the store clerk. Police say he threatened the clerk with a box cutter. The customer, who has a valid concealed carry permit, told police he could not see what was in the robber's hand, but he could see the look of fear in the clerk's face. Video shows the customer pulling a handgun and firing 3 shots. Then another 3, all while holding that six-pack. It appears one of those shots hit a liquor bottle. He fired the final shot several seconds later. Bullets struck the robber in the arm, the back, and the face. The customer told police the suspect fell to the floor but was crawling toward him. He held him at gunpoint until police got there. Cass County Prosecutor Victor Fitz says he's waiting for police to finish the investigation before deciding whether to file criminal charges against the customer. Obviously, there's some people who would consider the shooter a hero.
Well, in Michigan, obviously, it's clear that we do have defense of others as part of the law in Michigan, that you can defend others if they're in a situation where there's dangerous force being used against them. And certainly in this case, we'll be looking at the facts in regard to that.
Some people are just built different. In situations like this, there are some people who would freeze. Then there are some people who would run. And as is the case here, some will just simply say, "I'm your huckleberry." I don't know if it's arrogance or pure stupidity that makes you think it makes sense to try and rob a convenience store with.
But look how pimpy he is. This got to be, I'd like to hear his age, because this looks like my cousin Willis. That's what I'm thinking, that this is my cousin Willis, but I called him and I haven't heard back from him. But this looks like one of my cousins that lives down there in Dowagiac, but I'll let him go.
With a box cutter in a country with over 300 million guns. And for the people who are decrying this self-defense shooting and saying, he didn't have to shoot him, he only had a box cutter. Would you be saying that if it were you that this criminal was threatening to kill with the box cutter? People severely underestimate the lethality of a sharp object like a box cutter. In 2021, 1,035 people were murdered by knives and cutting instruments. That's double the number of people killed by rifles and shotguns combined. Knives and cutting.
Let me add this. I know it was funny. Slide did a little bit on this. We were told, don't let somebody get within 10 feet of you. That was my police training. It was 10 feet. It was like in 10 feet. If a person got in 10 feet of you, he could stab you as quick as you could pull out your gun. I think I would have shot a person. But so now, again, he wasn't that far. He was like 9, 10 feet from that person. And again, they said that you can save someone. So I'll go a little more with this before I move on. I think it's good information. So fair use.
Cutting instruments can be as deadly, if not more deadly than a gun, especially once someone is in striking distance. And effective striking distance with a knife or a cutting instrument is a lot further than you think.
Research initially conducted by Dennis Tuller and published in an influential article showed that an assailant armed with a short-handled edged weapon standing 21 feet from an officer is able to stab and or slice the officer with the edged weapon before the officer is able to draw and fire his or her handgun.
I'll say I disagree with 21 feet. I'll disagree. I'll stick with 10 feet. Within 10 feet, I could get my gun out quick. 21 feet, I've been had my gun out. And then, you consider with people, you have your backup gun. And the way I used to carry my gun is I had my backup gun. I had this button open right here. And I had my backup gun right here. And so I could always stick my hand through my shirt and pull that gun out just as quick, because I had what was called a double lock holster. My holster had almost 3 things you had to, and you had to practice with this mug. You know, I was like TV cowboy dude. You had to practice with this thing to bring it out. Because again, you know, you get to tussling with somebody, you don't want your gun easy to be pulled out. But so I disagree with that a little bit. Yeah, but yeah, I think this is one of my relatives. So thank you, brother Colin. Colin Noor, don't give me a hit for that. I had to show that. But he was just so smooth carrying the 6-pack. I mean, his brother, like, he never let the 6-pack go. I mean, this is so smooth. Like, here we go, this part here. This is what you know he was thinking. Look at this. He was thinking this kind of thing. Look, when he comes in.
Learn if he'll face criminal.
Watch, this is what he's thinking. So he doesn't see dude. Dude done walked in. Look, he ain't even seen him yet. He's just thinking, you know, is any other munchies I got or anything? Then he still was just gonna go to counter. He's like, oh shit. You could tell he's thinking, oh shit. oh shit. But you know, calm, collected behind what cover there is in the store, because again, it's all about concealment and cover. And even though it's not a lot of cover, it is pretty much concealment. But it's like, oh shit. And you know, just cool. This is training. You know, I don't know what this brother does, but this is training. Kept his cool, put some rounds down without putting the owner in jeopardy, and then stopped him. So I commend the brother. I've been waiting for a call back to see if that was my cousin Willis, because I think it looks like him. But if it wasn't him, I'm sorry. But yeah. Now, El Dragon, Amarun Khan, thank you for joining. And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
Pale Horse Rider, thank you for joining. And I know you definitely got
to have vision.
You say the new NFL script commercial is out? Okay, I have to catch that one. I haven't caught that one yet. I haven't caught that new NFL commercial for the season. When I catch it, I'll try to break it down. It's like one thing that's just the silliest of the silly is Rodgers' situation makes no sense. It makes no sense why anybody would want him. They had a rookie quarterback, which I don't mind not beating up the rookie quarterback and bringing an older cat. But why? How would it really turn out that him and Favre both go to the same team? I mean, you just would never see. You would never see that they both would end up on the same team. Hey, Lorenzo. And I know you got
to have vision.
Oh, yeah, the kidney stone removed. Ooh, they didn't laser it? Ooh, well, I'm healing energy to you, brother. Definitely healing energies. Let me see. Yeah, with the peptide, some healing energy to you, brother. Man, yeah, some healing energy. Ooh, definitely some healing energies. Ooh, and amplified with the Heckamers. Wow. Healing energies to you, brother, because I know that can be painful. I know that can be very painful. That's kind of like, I do creamer and I do milk with cereal, but that's it. I don't really eat a lot of cheese. My girl and my daughter, they like up here is cheese curds. And like, unless I'm really hungry, I don't like eating that stuff because it's just a fried piece of cheese. And so unless I'm really hungry, I don't like eating that stuff. So, yeah. But I feel so sorry for you, brother. Well, quick recovery, definitely a quick recovery for you, brother, you know. So it doesn't look like the state fair is in full effect up here. You know, yesterday it was hot, didn't go swimming. Oh, I did play pickleball. Let me grab my phone. I did play pickleball this morning, but I had a meeting. I didn't get out there till about 10:30. And sad to say, everybody was leaving. I was lucky to get in 3 games. And I mean really lucky to get in 3 games. And I lost all 3 games. The first game I played, I really could have won. They were beating us like 8-2, and I came back and we end up it was 10-10, and I had to serve, and then I served it out of bounds, and that was it. And I wasn't even playing with a dude that was great. So Yeah, it wasn't even, oh, it gave me an hour worth of exercise. I didn't even thought I got that. I didn't even think I got an hour worth of exercise. Only burned 837 calories. I still got in 4,600 steps, and I'm going back out to the Mall of America to get a little more walking in. I'm gonna break them LeBrons back there in there, that box right there. I'm gonna break those in going out to the mall. But it was something I saw out there I should have got. I said went 10 flights of stairs, which I definitely don't. My heart rate variability went up. So 190 from, what was it? 66 is average. So the variability, oh, okay, right here, the variability went from 55 to 197. And if I play all day, it goes up to 200. So on the other hand, no, my elbow doesn't hurt. I wore the Vipers and they felt a little flat. They did feel flat. The Viper Next, they felt flat compared to, because I've been playing with the Jordan 37s. And yeah, the Jordan 37s, when you break them in, are more reactive. They're definitely not flat. The Vipers are a little flatter shoe. I really like the cushion of the Jordan 37s, but pickleball will beat up your shoes. So I'm going to still go back and forth between shoes. So. But, I got some good shots in, but it was just not a lot of work. But I am going to go out to the mall and probably get 4 miles of walking in. Don't really need anything, but there was something I saw, and if it's still there, I'm going to go back and get it. I was real tempted. They had a Laker jacket, satin Laker jacket, like a winter coat. Oh, for like $80. $200 coat for like $80. And I am one dude that, let me see what I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 5. There's 2 more in there. I got like 7 or 8 winter coats, plus my leather coat. So I don't really need coats. I don't need coats. I'm trying to get the Matthew Henson. The Matthew Henson got the hoodie and all the fur. They just checked my urine, gave me some, and then gave me some medicine. But thanks for the good. Yeah, because right now I know they can hit you with lasers. They can laser about you too. But I know people that passed them. Like they give you a little strainer, and guys talking about passing them, and they say it's my mother's ex-boyfriend said it felt like he was having a heart attack. It was hitting him so hard. I mean, because if you look at them when they come and you look at what they got to go through, these are just the smallest little, but it's calcium buildup. Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad, brother. Hey, Nicole B, thank you for joining. And I know you definitely got to have vision. And one thing funny is I have a friend that I play pickleball with, and I thought I saw her at the mall, but I wasn't sure because Michelle always has glasses on. This girl had similar hairstyle. She didn't speak to me, so I thought it wasn't Michelle because Michelle knows me well enough, I thought. But you never know. We was at the Mall of America, so I asked her, I was like, was you at the Mall of America? She's like, no, but my daughter was. I was like, nah, this was a lady, This was, even if her daughter, this was an older woman. It couldn't have been, she was not old enough to have a daughter old as the woman I saw. So I was glad I didn't ignore somebody I knew. But it's still, it's good to, because I went out there, if you play pickleball, get you a rope and do rope work. It is just the quickest hands. I mean, I'll be having rallies where the ball goes, I make 5 plays of it. Boom, 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 boom. And then somebody finally, gets it through. So. Yeah, so it's just a way of kind of, I guess, touching up, resting though, but touching up on skills, but still resting. So that's good. That's really good. So I feel good. And it doesn't look like it was any shootings or anything. So that's positive around here. Oh, the hangover. Oh, yeah, everything here is about the state fair. Everything is about the state. Oh, yes, I did want to show this. You know how they always want to give us first. So they always want to give us first. This just happened. Now, this woman works with Alan Page. If you don't know who Alan Page is, Alan Page played for the Minnesota Vikings. But Alan Page also went to Notre Dame, and Alan Page became a lawyer. And as far as I know, he's been a Supreme Court justice for about 20 years of the state. He's a state Supreme Court justice. So, hey, Bishop MacBone, what's happening? And Mr. Backbone, I know you always controlling your...
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
And I know you definitely have.
Got to have vision.
All right, but yeah, you know, they always want to applaud first. This is how they keep that race thing going, but check this one out.
Highest court has a new head justice. The governor today appointed Natalie Hudson as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, making her the leader of the state's judicial system. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield shares her historic path to this top spot.
To promote and the general welfare of its citizens.
Justice Natalie Hudson is used to being in charge, but soon she will do it at the state's highest level.
That it is my incredible pleasure to know that we will be appointing Associate Justice Natalie Hudson to be Minnesota's next Chief Justice of the Minnesota Supreme Court.
Wow, and they picked her over Alan Page. Interesting.
News that was met with much excitement and little surprise from those who worked with her at the state Supreme Court.
Justice Hudson is extremely smart, diligent, is always prepared for anything that comes before her, but also at the same time is deeply kind, is mentoring.
After 40 years as an attorney and 8 as a justice, she's starting a new job and marking new territory.
The fact that I am the first person of color and the first black person to be the Chief Justice of the state of Minnesota is of course not lost on me. And I'm deeply humbled and honored by this recognition.
Her father also made history, becoming football coach of McAllister College in 1971, the first black coach in a turbulent time in history.
So watching him, for me, was a lesson in perseverance, in courage, and in integrity. And that has carried me through my career.
A career that has reached new and celebrated heights.
Regardless of race, this is the type of person you would want to be leading the judicial branch.
In St. Paul, Susan Elizabeth Littlefield, WCCO News.
Huh. I want to look up, is Alan Page still, well, I guess I gotta look it up over here. Oh. Look up Alan Page. Huh. Here's a Wikipedia page. Let me see, did he retire? Try to see if Alan Page retired. I don't think he retired. Football, he was a national championship in 66. I think they were co-champions with Michigan State in 66. Yeah, they weren't champions by themselves. But he was Supreme Court Justice. Where are we at? Professional accolades, honorary degrees. See still, page. Page. Okay, Associate Judge, Supreme Court, he served on that court. He was the first. He was reelected in 98, and again in 04, and final time in 2010. Oh, he had to retire. Minnesota has mandatory retirement for judges at the end of the month, which they turn 70. Oh. Oh, okay. So he retired. He retired in 10. Oh my, well, wow, I did not. Okay, so he retired in, looks like it's a 6-year cycle here, maybe 16. Maybe 16. But Alan Page was a bad boy. He was the first defensive player to be get MVP. I don't know if people remember that. First defensive player to get MVP. Bad boy. So I didn't know he was retired. I guess, look what I know. Wow. I didn't even know that the dude was retired. My bad. Nicole, I think I said hello to Nicole. Mac. Jeffrey, what's happening, Jeffrey? And I know you have
got to have vision.
Oh. You know, it's interesting. Brother Nick has showed where this dude here, this is from Brother Nick's channel.
The games you gotta.
And Hope Brother Nick doesn't mind me showing this, but I don't show a lot of popular stuff, but I'll give my opinion about what Brother Nick shows. So I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this.
Play. I put up a video, a short. I made a short, 50 seconds. Wagner chief Pritzkin presumed dead after Russia plane crash, and I got it from the BBC. Now this ain't gonna be a short, but I'm still in that format. I'm using my phone, and I got an email that they were age restricting it. I have no video, no photos of the crash. I mean, as early as I got it, there was no photos of the crash or anything available. I mean, because I got on it fresh. And so anyway, let me show y'all what we got.
Let me answer Nicole B's question. This is okay. This is perfect segue, and we'll get back to Brother Nick because my homeboy, everything he does is good. I probably should play more of his stuff because he's so good. But anyway, what Nicole says is they make the state judges retire at 70. Remember what they pushed, because Michigan was a strong state, and you had everybody in the state Senate in Michigan 35 years. And they started going state by state, making age restrictions, the amount of time that local people, that state people could run. I know I watched that happen in Michigan because Michigan was strong. They were sending people and they was trying to deal with Michigan. And you had all these people that had governed just as long as these people in DC had governed. So you had really good governorship. But they changed that. You can't be in the state politics for 30 some years like you did. But yet, the Senate, you can run every 6 years. They get a longer term than the president. You can go in not being a millionaire like Biden, and you come out multi-millionaire, despite the fact they only making what, 200,000-300,000 a year. So yeah, they go after the state, so the state doesn't have the strong people. But again, look at Clarence Thomas, what's going on with him, and it's always, gifts and stuff. It's always gifts. My friend didn't pay this camper off. I mean, always these gifts. My friends didn't pay my vacations. They my friends. But let somebody like our stature do something like Clarence Thomas did, and you'll be held accountable. He's not held accountable. And they can run until they're 1,000 years old. They got that one lady, Feinstein. I mean, this lady, they had one of her assistants voting. Remember that last week? Yeah, about a week ago, they had one of her assistants have to go in there and vote for her. Or they had her on a hot mic telling her that she was going to be voted for. But, I don't follow a lot of things, but I'll give you my little bit after Brother Nick does this.
Being petty, but I'm also following up because even though they put that on, you can't watch the video. You click it and it don't play. And because Carrie even said, she said, don't play. Now it'll play in my studio, but if you go to like you're a regular viewer, it won't play. Watch. Now this is in my studio.
Hey y'all, you see what it says? Wagner boss Prigozhin feared dead after Russia plane crash.
No cursing, and I'm reading the article.
Prigozhin was on the passenger list of a jet which crashed, killing all on board, Russia's Civil Aviation Authority has said. I'm quite sure you'll be able to pick this up all over.
That's all I did. Now, the story from the BBC is still up. The only thing they did was changed him from the picture. The story's the same. They just put the picture with him with a helmet on. Sorry about that. All I gotta do is get the going and the phone to ring. But yeah, but that's all it was. So all
right. So this is a cat they killed. This Wagner cat they killed, and they got him showing the devil horns or the victory sign. What's interesting, though, it reminds me, now maybe I'm wrong on, was it Tojo that got killed? Because remember, the brains behind Pearl Harbor, if it's not Tojo, and that's what I commented on this story. If it wasn't Tojo, please forgive me, but he was assassinated. The dude who set up Pearl Harbor early in the war, Americans broke in and heard his radio, and they shot him down. And that's what this reminds me of. And that turned the tides for the Japanese. He was one of their best strategists, military Navy strategists, probably their very best. And America, doing their due diligence, these jokers here know how to kill, doing their due diligence, listening to them, and sometimes people are lax, and that's what this makes me think here is they was lax. They relaxed because he went to war. He went to war with Putin. He got tired of being mistreated, and he sent his war to Russia. He sent troops in. So, again, I don't always go on popular stories. That's why my damn phone didn't ring. Damn. But I did want to mention that because I thought that was worthwhile. So you say Feinstein is finally retiring? Good. Because, they try to keep him on because of the power, and they don't want it to switch. They don't want the power to switch. So that's why they keep that thing going. And this is the thing I think I ponder with, and most people probably do. It's like, okay, say this thing does break down. What's next? What would it look like that would replace this? And are we content enough to want to continue this? Because a lot of people complain that the way it is, but what COVID really showed you and showed everyone is we really want normacy. Now I know Sly always says that you're going to capitulate, but I think most people would capitulate because of normacy. I mean, each of us, especially parents that have children, we want our children to do exactly what we did. We want you to have children, grow old, raise your children, and see a bunch of what your work was when you're old. Or do we feel that this needs to be overthrown, blown up, blown apart? And then whatever's next, let's move on with what's after next. So, I don't know. Yeah, they're about to run the scam again. Yeah, it wasn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. They got King's daughter on here. King's daughter, wow. Yeah, and an active shooter dead in Pittsburgh. I saw that yesterday. That was a yesterday story. Is this? Oh, okay. This is the one. This was yesterday too, but this is interesting. This push, and how you start seeing these stories everywhere. Again, we had here in Minnesota last week we had 8 shot, and then there's this story. I'm not gonna show all of it, but it's interesting. We see a positive shooting, and then they want to show this.
This breaking news. You are taking a live look out of Orange County, California. Multiple victims involved in a mass shooting at a popular biker bar. Now, this happened at Cook's Corner, that bar located in Orange County. This is under investigation right now. That is from officials at their last update. Sky Fox here and our partners down at Fox 11 LA over the scene in Trabuco Canyon as this heavy police presence continues at and there in their social media pages to try to get mass shooting at Cook's Corner, a popular bar in southern Orange County. At least 9 people reportedly shot. Number of dead unknown, but Sky Fox images show 2 body bags and suspect reportedly down and in custody. We also have one from the Orange County Sheriff saying the incident at Cook, saying that only 2 were killed, but now we're hearing that 4 people were killed or also 5. So we just want to keep it that multiple people may have been killed in this incident. The exact number we will bring to you as soon as we get it confirmed. But some people injured, sent to the hospital as well. You can see this is a popular biker gang bar. Or biker bar, excuse me.
She didn't mean to say that.
Motorcycles out there in the parking lot as we can see officers surveying the area. Let's bring in another tweet as we continue to bring you these updates live, raw, and unfiltered. This is again from the Orange County Sheriff. And it says here, update incident scene at Cook's Corner is static. We are in unified command with OCFA. Confirmed 4 deceased at scene, including the shooter. 6 transported to hospitals, 5 reported with gunshot wounds. Officer involved shooting occurred during the incident. Note deputies injured. So as you can see, this was a very chaotic scene down there once.
All right. She's kind of boring. So biker bar shooting. Biker bar shooting. Interesting. See, they're gonna keep putting pressure on Johnny Oggs. Thank you for joining. And I know you have to have.
You got to have vision.
Oh, wow. Yes, I caught this. I don't think I showed this yesterday. No. Oh, and the Vikings cut Harry. Harry from he played with the Patriots. Cadil Harry? They cut him. They cut him today. So this is more of a they got a biker bar. What is it? 14 hours ago. Oh, we got witnesses to the shooting. Okay, let's see what he says.
Thank you.
Let's see what the witness says happened at the biker bar. Let's see what the witness says happened at the biker bar.
I just talked to a witness who was up at Cook's Corner at the time of this shooting, and he has lost a friend. What he says is there was 5 or 6 shots. They were outside in the picnic area. They heard these shots, and then the shooting stopped, and then it started up again. And he said a group of people on the outside started running, and he said that included his friend, a man in Irvine, from Irvine. And when they were running, he said his friend went down next to him, and he assumed that he had tripped. And again, this witness who I spoke to said that he, kept running and lost track of his friend for a time. After that, he says he came into contact with another victim, someone who was shot in the arm and had a pretty bad injury. He described him as a cook at the restaurant. He said they barricaded themselves in the kitchen, and he grabbed a frying pan and they waited it out there. He said later is when he found out that his friend in fact hadn't tripped, but he was shot in the back and was killed. He also told me a story about a woman who he spoke to. He described her as an employee who works at Cook's Corner, and he said that she came up to him and described this encounter with the gunman. Apparently, the woman was pregnant, and she said to the gunman, "Please don't kill me. I'm 5 months pregnant." And the gunman then said, "Get out of here." So these are just a few of the stories that were being told. Again, I just hung up a few minutes ago with this witness. More details.
Thought they had a young dude gonna talk.
In the beer garden that Michelle Geely was just referencing. We know that at least a few people have cleared from the scene. I've seen all these people gathered inside.
Doesn't look like they're gonna show the young boy.
The ground. I did see that in the.
Oh, let's see what he has to say.
And we heard gunshots just randomly start going off. And then a few minutes later, we heard it kind of increasing. We were like really confused what was going on, and we were kind of scared, and then we kind of ran back inside. But it's just a crazy scene from there.
So the gunshots started, they paused, and they continued?
Yeah, they kind of paused for a second. I think that was the original shooting, and then when they continued, I think it was when the police officers showed up.
Got it.
That's what me and my mom could tell anyway.
So when you were looking down there, what could you see?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's a bit of a look, but we definitely saw the cop cars coming up, and then we heard the gunshots kind of increase once the cops were there. So that's kind of what was going on.
So what are you thinking the whole time that this is going on?
I mean, we were super scary. All the neighbors were out in the middle of the street, like, what is going on? Why are there gunshots right in our backyard? And then it was a very scary moment. My mom and I, we looked for a second, then we got scared because we didn't know how close it was. So we went back inside our house, and then I was kind of scared for an hour or two, so then I finally came back down here just to check it out closer to the scene.
Well, that.
Wow. So, when they bring these kind of stories, you know what they're doing, going after. But it's not surprising. That's a lot of That's a whole business in themselves with the biker gangs. They're a whole business to themselves. So I don't think anybody's surprised that something like that happened there. I don't think that surprises anybody. So, but it's funny how we can show positive where guns, and then again we can show where gangster kind of stuff is taking place. Ooh, let's see this.
It's every.
Let's see this. There we go. If y'all got to come up to our state fair. It has some of the best food ever. And this is kind of what it's looking like out there. Whoops. This is our state fair. And this is just one side of it. And it's like food everywhere out here. It's like food everywhere. Normal fare, 4-H shit, that kind of shit. Rides and shit, and we have concerts. They have pretty big concerts in this. So it'll be some concert this week. I haven't heard who's going to be out here. Let's see, let me look this up. Who's headlining the Minnesota State Fair? Here we go. State Fair. Oh, here we go. Oh, this says 23. The Black Keys. The Black Keys are going to be there tonight. Looks like it's about to sell out. I don't know who the Black Keys are. The Chicks and Wild Rivers. Keith Irving and Lindsay Eli. Boys to Men and Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Let me rock. Oh, anyway. Monday is going to be Happy Together Tour. The Turtles, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues and I don't know them. Brandy Charlie Carlisle, I don't know her. Young Gravy. I guess that must be a rapper. Young Gravy. Oh, yeah, I made fun of Young Gravy. That's right. I made fun of Young Gravy. I forgot about that. Duran Duran next Thursday. Jonas Brothers next Friday. So, you want to come up here to the State Fair? It's going on this week. I'm going out there sometime this week. I'm going out there. Spend some money. I just hate you. They got these cookies, and these cookies come in this bucket, and the bucket is dang near big as this. It's higher than this. And they fill that sucker up, and you got a thing like that of a bunch of sugar. But it is delicious. It is delicious, I must say. But they cook everything on a stick up here. And like my best friend, he applied for the State Fair for 10 years, and that's normally it takes you 10 years to get in, and they never did. He wasn't lucky enough because his wife is all of them. I mean, his wife, his family, excellent cooks, but they weren't able to, get out there because you can. Like I knew some people. God, what was their story? Yeah, my mother had friends, and all they did is sold elephant ears. They worked like 5 months out the year. They sold enough money. They made enough money from elephant ears in the summer, spring and summer. That's all they did. They worked 5 months. They worked 5 months out the year selling elephant ears, and it made them rich. Let her know what time I'm gonna be here. It's not gonna be very late. I like to sometimes show heartwarming stories. So this is a heartwarming story. Oh my goodness! Look at this here. Look at this suit. Oh my goodness. You know, I be getting on mugged. Look at this. Look at this suit. This is old. This look like this came from Sears back in the early 2000s. I mean, this, man, why would you wear this ugly thing? And I know, you know, dude probably got a lot of suits, but this is just like, this is old. This is ill-fitting and this is old. Look at these big-ass pleats. Look at these lapels, how big they are. But let him tell his story. It's heartwarming. He's telling a heartwarming story, y'all.
He's overcome many obstacles at just 2 years old. Tonight, Morgan Wolf shows us how he's being celebrated.
Time. It can deal a difficult hand to some.
Our patients who are here for long term kind of become part of our PICU family.
Children's Minnesota sees a lot of bad cards dealt to families.
809 days in a NICU/PICU.
Like to the 2-year-old boy who once stayed here.
His smile is like contagious to everybody. Anyone that walks by and sees him smile, they always start laughing and smiling too.
Meet Ace. Mom Ajane and Dad Antoine welcomed him into this world 3 months early.
He had a 0.8 chance of surviving from the time that I had gone into labor till now.
Doctors discovered that he had an extremely rare disease.
He has Ehlers-Danlos, and that is a connective tissue disorder. So his skin and other tissues in his body don't have the same kind of elasticity that ours do.
Well, I'm basically a nurse, just no schooling. I know everything that there is to know about this stuff now.
Yeah, we worried about him for a long time, and you know, we were afraid that this day wouldn't come. That makes it even more special to know that he's overcome so many obstacles.
My loudmouth lime, I call him, because he's always sitting with his mouth open talking to somebody.
A lion that finally fought his way out of the hospital.
Now, remember, I think these parents, we won't see a story where, you know, they get him home and they can't. I mean, what she said was very telling. I know everything about this. I am practically a nurse. I applaud that because I showed a story where they took a baby where the hospital said you should let this one rest. He has so many complications. He has to be taken care of. But we saw a young melanated family again seeing money. But the money, there's a chain with that money. That son needs to be taken care of. So you can't get this extra money and think you can do this and you can do that. No. These people seem like they're ready for the challenge. And we just heard from the young mother, appeared like she was ready for the challenge. And so we applaud people like that. So, you know, I have to show some feel-good stories sometime, y'all. Feel good. Feels good.
Want to head out once again to this.
I gotta tell some feel-good stories sometimes because the world is just, there are beautiful things. And that's one thing I'll say about America is we take care of our people pretty much anybody. And a lot of countries don't do that. Like if you look after, like I used to, gosh, in psychology classes, they would show like what happened to a baby if the baby is never held. Like there were so many children orphaned after World War II, and then, you know, once the Russians go into Germany and start, you know, raping all the German women, and all these babies are born, nobody take care of them. And they would show what happens to a baby if it doesn't have any human contact. The baby just kind of like almost seizures like. But it was like these group of babies, or maybe they just got held like once a day. And it was just amazing what happened to these children as their development. They develop slower because of the lack of human contact. So that's kind of, you know, that's what it kind of reminds me of. Oh, so I guess there's another story about this. So, Orange County shooter identified as ex-cop targeting a strange wife. Damn, he was trying to pop off at his wife. So, is this the same? Yeah, I think this, yeah. Okay, this is they know who did the shooting at the biker bar, I guess. Here's a continuation of the biker bar shooting, maybe. I think this is it. Let's see.
7:04 p.m., deputies responded to multiple 911 calls of shots being fired at Cook's Corner. The caller stated that the male fired 4 to 6 shots. About 2 minutes later, at 7:06 p.m., deputies arrived on scene and dispatch could hear gunshots in the background. At 7:08 p.m., deputies then confronted a male subject that was armed with a gun. At that point, a deputy-involved shooting occurred, and that involved multiple deputies. At this point, the man believed to be involved in the shooting is deceased at the scene. At least one weapon has been recovered at the scene, and we have been made aware that the suspect may be retired law enforcement.
Ex-cop targeted estranged wife. Gunman who killed 3 people and wounded 6 others at the landmark Barker Bar in Trebago County. All right. Is there any more? Was a former police officer, according to officials. Okay. Orange. Oh, they showing Todd Spritzer. The gunman is John. Okay, John Snowling, who was retired sergeant from the Ventura Police Department. Damn, John. What made you break, John? What made you break? What made you break? What broke you? The ex-wife broke you, John? You had to pay her alimony. You had to pay her child support. So you just thought the best way to get out of it was to pop her. Damn, he said, it's going down like this.
It's going down like this, motherfucker.
Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's see what else they got to say about it. She was a regular. It sounds like his wife was a... She was a regular. He was mad her being regular. He was mad that she was regular. He knew she would be there. Oh my goodness, what time is it? All right, got a little longer. Oh, killed Orange County. All right. The gunman was also killed, so they got him. 6 people were injured. I think they said 4 were dead. 2 patients, critical condition, 4 stable. Okay, good. Damn, that was a weird looking mug. Say Snowden's strange wife survived being shot, but she is hospitalized. I mean, if she wasn't shot, wow, they got somebody laid out in the street. This is bogus. Wow, they just got this person laid out in the street with a blanket over him. Wow. And everybody seems kind of indifferent. Like the feed is out, and this is somebody. But everybody seems kind of indifferent. Well, we threw a blanket over it, so we're okay. Let's see. The shooting brought concern for local officials and residents. All right. Wow. That is a double wow for me. Oh, well. Well, so, hey, ain't got to say he's Asian because we know he worked for the police. But he was probably paying child support, alimony. You know, his feelings is hurt. I worked with one dude. He hated me when I was a cop. I had a brand new car. I'm wearing jewelry and shit. And, you know, he used to hate payday. You know, we'd be all, you know, it's payday. That dude used to hate payday. He used to hate it. It's like, damn, dude, payday is rough for you, isn't it? It's rough. He was driving OB. It was like the dudes, this is what's interesting. The 2 cops that had been there for 20 plus years both drove beater cars. One dude, I don't know if he was married or not. He had started a job being a security guard, and then when they turned it into being cops, he had turned it into being a cop. And actually was pretty good dude. He was. He had to fire a dude up one time. He was just as cool and collective. So I give him props, but the other dude was a mess. He was a mess. But it was just funny how, you know, both of them drove buckets. They both drove buckets. And so, Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much longer. I just try to do some daily activities, bring some positivity into the world, let y'all know I'm still out here trying to, say it loud enough. And that's all. Say it loud enough to get everybody to be the best they can be. That's it. That's all. You can just be the best you. You ain't got to be the best anything else but the best you. And positive thoughts go a long way. I mean, it really is. Like you can, like even water. Now it's funny. It's funny. Like this is purified water, and you see there's no reaction from the sugite. Now, when I get to spring water, the sugite starts reacting to purify the spring water. But if you look here, in the purified water, it's already purified. So the sugite really has no reaction to it, which is interesting. But they took all the impurities out of the water. It's not distilled, but it makes you wonder. But like, okay, even this, like before taking a glass of water, and this is proven, you can find this. I think this is still on YouTube. If you tell the water, I love you, and you drink it, the water will react positively to you telling it that. It will act positively. And this is, this has been researched. The better vibration you keep around you and the better harmonics that your tune that you play, I mean, things around you tune in. Things around you tune in. So, and it's the same way with the food. Like that's kind of like where the prayer for the food is, the thankfulness for the food, the sacrifices that the vegetables made, the sacrifices that the animal made, or whatever. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being thankful. My girl, she's I guess a Christian. I guess that's what she calls herself. She would be a Christian, but she prays, she prays before every meal. That thankfulness, and it's a humbleness. Sometimes that is a humbleness because we take it for granted. But like true hunters, tied with the land, like if you watch the Alaskans, it's a lady out there and she does it in the old way. Thanks the land, thanks the animal, so that person can continue. Not just for sport. I need you to survive. And I might survive with you for some months. So hooray to taking that small time of saying something positive to the food will turn out positive to you. So, and just a positive attitude. Visualization of whatever you plan on doing, being successful. That doesn't hurt. Oh, what? Sorry, I didn't understand that. What do they? Oh, a guy was telling me. So CAD. Now again, computer-aided drafting is still 3D. So you're still looking at a 3D. Technically, well, you can put wireframe in 3D. I'll say that you can put wireframe. So CAD you can put CAD into wireframe. But he called it RITS, I think. He says that you can get the fully 3D models now, or the full 3D plans, because he's a building. He builds. He's not the builder, but he plans the way the building is going to come out. He's a type of architect, but he's not even a type of architect. He's a type of what did he call it? But anyway, when they build elementary schools, he's the one that, you put the mechanicals here, you put this here. He's the one that outlines that. And so when they show him the space or the blueprint, he can say, well, this has to go here because of where, everything would tie in. Certain things have to be certain places. That's where you tie into them. And he's the one that would do that. And so he would say that, they would shoot him the 3D print of it, the 3D of it instead of CAD or wireframe, and he would throw it back. And I imagine it's more of an advanced wireframe now I think about it, because wireframe is basically 3D too. But he would show him, he's like, okay, he would put in the specifications like this is going to has to go here, this goes here, this goes here. Then he shoots it back to him and they can see how it's going to look in real time. So I think he called it RITS. I think I have to ask him again tomorrow because I've been out of the car business so long that wireframe and CAD was what everybody was into, and so that's not the case anymore. And it was fun being in the automobile business and really seeing, like I saw the first Thunderbird, the new Thunderbirds when they came out in the late early 90s. The PT Cruiser, I saw that. I'm trying to, the LS1, no, LS, yeah. The Lincoln 4-door that had the same chassis, all that. But I saw, I got a chance to see these cars from before they was released. I think the PT Cruiser was like the first one ever made. It was the prototype. Because I never saw a stick shift the way that was in that the car that they brought there. It was a different stick shift. I never saw another car with that type of stick shift. So it must have been a prototype. But that's the kind of thing, being in the auto supply business, that you can run into. You can see new and innovative things. Yeah, Keneal Harry got cut. Keneal, that was his name. Keneal Harry got cut. I don't know if people know this about up here, but we have horse racing. The people that's catering my wedding, they're the caterers at where the horse racing is. And so I'll show just a few minutes of this just to show you how big it is. And it's fun out there. They have, crowds and shit out there. So it's kind of cool.
60s, playing the song First Call to let spectators know a horse race is about to start.
But a local musician is keeping that practice alive at a local racetrack. In tonight's Maury Stories, Maury Glover shows us the man behind Canterbury Park's signature sound.
It's race day at Canterbury Park, and visitors are betting on having a good time.
Lows, laughter, and crocodile tears take off.
But a fan favorite is helping preserve a racing tradition as iconic as the winner's circle.
Left in the wake of a keen turn of speed.
Or a photo finish.
Tears, who wins by 5.
It's an opportunity for me to perform, and it just gives me a great feeling to put a little smile on people's faces.
Okay, you're a goof, but me showing him playing.
Thank you. I finished the call, and any number of times people will ask, and they want.
Okay, we don't care.
Followed by whatever rouser or ringer he decides to tack on the end.
When I'm out there, I'm on. It's it's showtime. It's showtime.
Okay, he's lame. Yeah, that's not very interesting. I was more trying to show the horse racing more than anything. The horse racing. Let me see. Yeah, that's why I was mostly showing. The horse racing out here is outstanding. And if those of you follow the horses, I mean, this is trying to think the way the track behind these houses. Amazon is behind these houses. Almost across from where the racetrack is Amazon. This is out here in the industrial area where this track is, and it's pretty cool. I had to go out there again. I'm getting married in November, so we had to go out there and get check out the food they had. Where they brought us about $200 worth of food to try, and then what we didn't try, they let us take home. Horse racing in Minnesota, I never would have thought of it. Oh yeah, this is serious out here. I mean, this joint is big. This is a big joint. You can, I kind of since Secretariat, I got to see Secretariat when I was a child. I think I told that story many times. I got to see Secretariat twice, 2 years in a row. And so I've always been in horse racing. And then my three children, my three sons that are here with me, that are adults now, their mother's grandfather in Jackson, Michigan, he had a table for probably 30 years at the racetrack in Jackson. And Jackson, it was off. God, was it? Yeah, it was off course betting too. Michigan has different laws, but you could bet on the trotters. It was trotter horses. That's like Dan Patch up here is a trotter horse. But that's what he had, and so you could watch the real races too. So I can't forget, because I know in Illinois you could bet. I forget how the betting laws. Like you could bet at the track, but I don't know if they had online betting. Kind of forget, because I know I could bet in Illinois, so. Maybe even in Michigan too. I kind of forget what the laws were back then. So, but we have they make wine up here too. Well, they make wine in Michigan. Michigan is known for its wine, but they make wine up here. It's not as known for as big as Michigan is, but yeah, they make wine up here too. They found grapes that can make it through the winter. The vines. Matter of fact, I looked at a property that I was considered that had some vines on it, had a small vineyard, that you could make your own wine. So, and like my girl, I tease her because I always call her and tell her she's got grape stomping feet. I like, you got great feet to stomp, you know. And then I remember when her mother was home, I was like, well, you know, I see where my girl gets her grape stomping feet from. You both got them. And they thought that was so funny, you know. They like teasing each other. We like teasing each other. So, oh yeah, there is some debauchery. I forgot to show this debauchery. I forgot. Damn. Like it's all the time. But this is old, but yeah, I forgot to show this.
All right, well,
I forgot to show this one. It's like, man, I forgot to show this one. This is local again, but just local, just to tell you what local people face.
Man with a history of abuse now facing murder charges.
The victim, his one-time girlfriend, Danica Bergeson, a military veteran, was found dead in her apartment earlier this summer. Paul Bloom joins us live outside the courthouse this evening. Paul, with the suspect's history, some are wondering if this tragedy could have been prevented.
Randy, certainly a question haunting the loved ones of Danica Bergeson.
Dude, where is your t-shirt? Where is your t-shirt? But let's go.
Ferguson, at this point, you know, court files document the history of violence, biting, choking, deadly threats, injury. Danica requiring medical care on multiple occasions. Her father asking me why or how the system can do more to protect someone like his beautiful daughter.
Danica was just a bright light, a huge smile and incredibly inquisitive eyes.
Danica Bergeson's father, David, so misses his gifted daughter. The state high school swimming champion at Edina turned military medic with a giant heart.
She just would care for people. I think people that had issues, sometimes she just opened up her heart a bit too much.
David Bergeson frustrated with a system he believes did not do enough to protect Danica from Matthew Brenneman, an abusive boyfriend now charged with her murder. Court files document a history of violence between the couple, biting, punching, choking. Danica was found dead in her apartment July 8th, just days after Brenneman walked out of jail in connection to a prior assault on Danica.
And then to find out that he'd been let out with really all his liberties. You know, there were literally no restrictions, no ankle bracelet. There was a DANC order put in place, but it had no teeth, and he was pretty much free to roam wherever he wanted to. And he did.
Come in, dear.
Police arrived to a gruesome scene last month where they found 33-year-old Danica dead in her bed. She may have been dead a day or more. Brenneman right there. Medical examiner was never able to determine the cause of death, but Danica had abrasions and bruising and was wrapped in blankets and a plastic garbage bag. Prosecutors say they have Brenneman on a jailhouse phone recording discussing the possibility that Danica's death was a, quote, crime of passion. He was in court Wednesday, convicted on a pair of prior domestic assault cases involving Danica, who, of course, wasn't there to tell her story.
You know, it was a painful.
Wow, but I mean, why she even deal with him? Like, why stay in it? Why stay in it? All that's going negative. I think the story was he convinced her to let her in to talk one more time, and then he killed her. I mean, how often do we see that? How often do we see that? And so, you know, you gotta.
It's a custom that dates
if it's
back
going
to
like that, you got to get out of it. If it's going like that, you definitely got to get out of it. Well, I'm gonna have to change clothes and stuff. You know, thank you for those who tuned in. I appreciate it. All that's tuned in, I appreciate it. I'll probably be back on Saturday night sometime. It's a football game on tonight too, but I'm not sure what time I'm gonna get back tonight. And since I didn't play today, but a little bit, I might play tomorrow. I'm thinking I'm gonna play tomorrow. I don't know. I think I'm gonna play tomorrow. So. If I play tomorrow, then I'll do another afternoon show. Like to come on, I meditate, and then I come on and, you know, give you what I know. And so that's all I can do is give my opinion on what I know, and no more or no less. And I appreciate the people that come in. You see, I don't really follow a lot of the popular stuff. Don't definitely follow a lot of nigga shit. I mean, I just don't. I don't want to pull that type of negativity around, because a lot of times when it comes to melanated people, it's like a lot of the stories is like what I say is, what does it mean to me? That's what a lot of it comes down to. Is like, what does this mean to me? Is this even worth listening to? I only showed that thing with the Wagner Group because it reminded me of the assassination of World War II. That's really the only reason. I don't try to get caught up into, world events because it's the same government for everything. I mean, it's obvious the same entertainment for almost everything. Movies go everywhere. It's the same entertainment. They let in what they want popular. So we think that all these different countries and all these different governments, what they've been showing you is it's just one thing. That's what was shown the last couple of years. It's just one government that's doing all the wars. I mean, right now we have not, they always talk about the war going on in Russia, but what about what's going on in Syria? When have they ever stopped fighting in Syria? And then maybe it's 5 years ago now, we had the Department of Justice fighting the CIA. Or no, we had the military fighting CIA operatives. It was like American taxpayer money backed both sides of this battle. Now, what sense does that make? Well, it just shows you they back every side backs everywhere. You look at how many Nazis, how many Americans backed the Nazis. Ford was a big backer of Nazis. And I've said this before, Ford didn't like them peoples. And at one time down in Greenfield Village, you could go see some of them old papers he had. Because he had a weekly paper and he blasted them. I think one of his papers still on the question about him or something like that. I think I've got it on computer file. But he wasn't a fan of them people, so he backed the Nazis. And his Ford's plant was never attacked. I think the worst it got was some windows got broken. But his plant was never bombed out. And when we see Band of Brothers, when they start, the industrial process again, yeah, the Ford cars the plant didn't need much repair because it was left alone, which is interesting because we know the American government used Ford to build bombs, tanks, and all that stuff. I mean, think about that today. You working at a place, and the next day the government comes in and tells you you're not going to make the shit that you've been doing. The whole plant is going to retool, and we're going to make this. And that's what they did during the war. They went to the main industrials and said, we taking over your plant. So telling me that ain't communism, where the government, the military comes in and takes over your plant. Tell me that ain't communism. So they can't cry communism when they practicing it too. Well, I got to go. I got to go. We got to hit the road, Jack. I'm glad I got gas earlier. So I appreciate y'all coming in. Appreciate the questions, the support. I thank you. And no matter how small, how big, I still will bring it because I got a little bit to say. And if you want to hear what little bit I got to